habang nakatigil ang mundo. At pagtitiis. Kasama ang buong sambayanan, kaming lahat ay nagbibigay pugay at puso-pusong nagpapasalamat sa pagharap ninyo sa tiyak na pahamak para sa bayan. Mabuhay kayo, mga bayani ng bayan.
Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan. Kung nais umasenso, humanap ng trabaho, o di kaya'y subukang magnegosyo. Lumikha ng produkto at sikaping lumago, inspirasyon mong pagkapiko. Katuwang ng gobyerno sa iyong tagumpay, iisa ang ating hangarin. Pag may abilidad at oportunidad, tiyak na ang lahat ay uunlad. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Walang iwanan. Go lang ng go mga kaibigan. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Sulong Pilipinas! Go, 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 kababayan! Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan. Kayaw magtipid sa iyong mga pangyayaring. na pagsisikap. Asenso'y sigurado sa hinaharap, manalig lang palagi sa sarili. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Walang iwanan, go lang ng go mga kaibigan. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Go, 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 kababayan. Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan.
Magandang umaga po mga negosyante. Thank you very much for joining the last day of the DTI e-commerce control biz. So, today po, exciting po yung ating mga pag-uusapan. Ako nga pala po si Joel Santos, ang presidente ng TEMS International Business School. Ang topic po natin ngayon ay isang masterclass. That means 1 hour of talagang lessons on how to convert your business from a retail business to online. Amidst the COVID-19, at ang ating pong mga speakers today are from the Leadmore Development Center. Papakilala ko po sila later bago sila magsimula, pero mag-opening words muna po tayo sa DTI, and let's welcome Director Marivic Bonoan of the Bureau of Domestic Trade and Promotions.
Hi. Paano start ang video, Penny? Penny, start ng video. Penny! Penny! Good morning. Thank you, Joel, for the introduction. Good morning, Asek Jean. Good morning to all our speakers and panelists. Good morning.
Good
Sorry
morning.
for the
Morning.
technical. Thank you, Joel. As you know, there has been a wave of cancellations and postponements of trade fairs and marketing events, including our National Food Fair because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So these cancellations and postponements have delayed the scheduled business revenues for our micro, small, and medium enterprises. So ngayon, our bureau is helping our MSMEs sell their inventory, especially yung perishable. So we have been mounting a series of bagsakan projects. So tonelada ng mga mangga ang binibenta namin. By the way,
Nakabili na po dyan, Director.
ha?
Thank you. Nakabili ako ng mga mangga.
Yeah, our next bagsakan will be on May 7 ng mga Zambales mangoes. So, but there are still a lot of products stuck at the office and more inventory stuck with the MSMEs themselves. So before the COVID-19 pandemic, we started talking to various e-commerce platforms for our Go Local project and our virtual trade fair website. But so far, only 30 are ready to go on board. And when we ask them, yung mga rason nila, what are the factors hindering them from joining the e-commerce platforms where yung location, they're located outside Metro Manila. So there's high cost of logistics and delivery costs. Yung lack of internet connection or poor internet connection, yung iba naman may security or payment issues. So we have invited all our trade fair participants and Go Local project participants to join this series of webinars. These are well-timed and syempre walang masyadong ginagawa ng tao. So it's high time for them to learn from our Reboot Now webinars, and encourage them to adopt e-commerce for their business because it's the way to go. I mean, they really have to pivot to online. With the growth of mobile phone ownerships and internet penetration, we hope that even our farmers, our fruit growers will be able to sell their produce online, making e-commerce truly inclusive. I believe that this series of webinars and master classes with the participation of such distinguished speakers and panelists will set us on a course towards achieving the full potential of e-commerce. So we invite all our MSMEs to embrace e-commerce, get out of their comfort zone, and trust the system that it will benefit them. So at this point, I would like to thank everyone who made this event possible. Of course, starting with ASIC Jean of the DTI e-commerce office, SAMS International Business School and the Philippine Trade Training Center, our learning partners, Wonderman Thompson of the agency partner for the visuals and publicity materials, and of course, our enabling partners. I will now mention them in alphabetical order. Food Panda, GCash, Google, Grab Express and Grab Food, Lalamove, Lazada, Leadmore, Paymaya, QuadX, PayLink and Quad GoGo Express, Shopee, Singapore Institute of Materials Management, Union Bank, and of course, Salora. Again, thank you and enjoy the webinars.
Thank you, Director Marivic. Actually, pwede nyo na pong i-announce sa mga MSME nyo na may part 2 to kasi sobra pong successful. There's a clamor for a part 2. So yung part 2 po will happen on May 12 to 14. Bago po ma-lift yung ECQ, we will do our part 2. So at least, Director Marivic, tuloy-tuloy po ang ating knowledge sharing para mapabilis po ang migration ng ating mga negosyante to e-commerce. So today is a master class that's actually going to be very practical. It's going to be done by Leadmore Development Center, and I will introduce to you today our distinguished speaker. So ladies first. The first one is Karen Pasha. She is the Digital Marketing Director for IT SPAC and Leadmore. And she's also a digital consultant for the DTI and the FinTech area of the United States Agency for International Development, or USAID. Hi, Karen. Welcome. And then the next one is, dami ng title. So, hindi ko alam, Dr. Dean Paxlapi, di ba? Kasi actually, si Dean Pax is a very close friend. He's one of my oldest friends in education. Kaya ako kami nagkasundo niyan kasi kami po yung non-traditional educator. So we go a long way. And so, si Dean Pax po, everybody knows him. He's a brand in himself, diba? He's a famous author with how many books na ba? 25 books.
No, five
books. Okay, 5 books. Okay. So 5 books. He is an entrepreneur, so he's not just talking out of theory. He has several businesses. I can't name them all kasi padami ng padami. He's also an inspirational speaker. But I think the most important thing, and so medyo iba lang yung introduction kay Pax because he's a personal friend. I think the biggest thing about Pax, he's a life changer, di ba? People who go through his workshops, whether it's for inspiration or for training, he's able to change their lives. And so today, we're hoping that both our panelists, Karen and Dean Pax, can change your business, di ba? And then basically change your life. Kasi one thing we want to happen from this COVID crisis is that we don't come out of this bitter, but actually better. So without further ado, I'm going to have our speakers from Leadmore Development Center lead the masterclass today.
Good morning. Good morning. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Mayak aaba, kikoram po sa aking mga kapampangan na kabalen. Daimbag nga bigat kada kayo amin apo. So, maayong buntag sa inyong tanan. So, sana naman na-cover ko at least several regions in the Philippines. So, I'd like to welcome yung mga nanonood from abroad. Yung nakita ko, meron all the way from Zamboanga, Bacolod, Cebu, all over po tayo. Tapos malapit Marikina, QC. So, congratulations, Asik Jean, Joel, for this great opportunity to present converting retail business to online amidst the COVID-19. Makikita nyo po na I love DTI. I am a mentor in some of the workshops of DTI. Pero ako po'y tormentor. Ibig sabihin, after the inspiration, perspiration po tayo. Ngayong umaga, ang ipapakita namin sa inyo, we will give you principle and practice. So, maganda po yung mga nagawa ng mga dati nating mga providers mula nung Miyerkules tayo, Wednesday, hanggang kahapon, pinapanood. Magagaling po lahat yun. Ano? Ang nawawala lang po doon is paano do it yourself. Karamihan kasi ng pinopose ng ating mga providers, which maganda naman, is do it for me. Yung DIF, me, ito naman DIY tayo, pero it will be coming from a point of view of an MSME, nag-uumpisa ka, so you don't want to be swamped in the millions of SKU and products of our mga malalaking platform. Although magaling po yon, pero kung gusto mag-umpisa, ito po ituturo namin. So real, practical, may case study tayo. Uumpisahan po ni Karen Pasha on our principles. And then later on, ako po'y magbibigay sa inyo ng case simulation. Lola Move PH na tinayo lang namin para dito. 2 weeks ago pa lang po yon, 100,000 pesos na po ang sales ni Lola Move PH. So we'll go to the first screen namin, Abby, and para umpisahan ko na, of course, pinakilala na kami ni Joel. Joel, that was a very, very great personal introduction. Ako'y nagpapasalamat. Joel and I have been together for the past 16 years. Ako po ang unang dean ng Entrepreneur School of Asia, where tinuruan ko ang mga kabataan over 3 years sa pagnenegosyo at nagtayo ng negosyo. So upfront, survive and thrive po tayo. How do you handle the drive? So we are already May 2, 13 days or 2 weeks to go. Mag-o-open na po ang ating lockdown. We will be on general community quarantine. So gagalaw na ang ekonomiya natin. So ang tanong, are we still in crisis? Of course we are. We are still in crisis. Hanggang wala po tayong nakukuhang vaccine para sa virus. So you need to take immediate action of the consequences of your medical and financial situation. Bakit crisis? Unexpected, hindi natin inasahan. Creates anxiety, tayo'y kinakabahan. Threat to personal, financial, and business goal. Yan po ang nangyayari. And then, unexpected crisis with anxiety and with all the personal and emotional para bang depression and things that are going with us leads to deviation of our original plan. This is not normal anymore. This is the new normal. So, crisis is danger or opportunity. Mamili kayo, kaliwa, danger, mamili kayo, kanan, opportunity. On the next slide, pakita namin sa inyo, is all about crisis management. So, wag nyo nang intindihin yung nasa loob, intindihin nyo lang yung nasa labas. You need to protect yourself. You need to plan and proceed and then persevere. But most of all, the hub and the spoke, you need a lot of prayer. It is only God that will prosper us in this crisis. So with that, yung next slide po natin dito, ang tatakil natin, complementing your physical retail business. There will be, and I tell you, there will be some businesses that will not survive anymore the shop or the mall environment. So, saan mo dapat dalhin ang iyong physical shop? Dalhin mo sa online. And that is all about digital marketing. Karen Pasha and myself work for Leadmore and IT SPAC. We work for DTI, USAID. Ang importante po sa digital, hindi lang po yung Facebook. Ang importante po doon, you want the whole digital strategy is the web, the mobile, the social media, your content marketing, building relationship, as well as analytics and reporting, and all the other stuff. With that, I give you the floor to our IT Director of IT SPAC, ang ating expert on digital and how you can do it yourself. Please welcome Karen Pasha.
Hi everyone, good morning. So as mentioned, no, we're facing the packs with all the mandated social distancing and no mass gatherings. It's really having a commercial effect that, and then it's not gonna look good even in the next few months, even if we resuscitate the economy. So what do we do with this? We have to check what kind of changes we have to apply, because we have to adapt to the change. We can just stick with what we're currently doing. As you can the current crisis showed you, it's not gonna work, the brick and mortar setup. So it's very, very dependent on foot traffic, for example, for restaurants and the ones in the mall. So what happened? They all closed down. So what do we do? How do we protect the workers? How do we continue their their source of living? And for us as a business, how do we survive and thrive, as Dean Pax mentioned? So a good way is to convert your business to from retail to e-tail. So meaning we're gonna move your sales into an online channel. This is not to say that you're not gonna keep your brick and mortar if you already have one in place. It's more of adding another channel for you to sell and market your products. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do it in 4 steps. The main things that you have to focus on, because we want it to be practical. That this is something that you could apply right away after the session. You could already start doing and thinking about how to move to online business. But before we discuss the steps, very, very quickly, I'm going to show you the state of digital in the Philippines as of January 20, because this shows you the kind of behavior that people already have in the Philippines in terms of going digital, and where is your audience? Because you're not gonna sell where, for example, you cannot be at every social media page. What if your audience is on Instagram and you're on Facebook? So it has to matter. You have to know where your audience is, and that's where you sell. So just to give you a snapshot, right now we have a total of 108 million people in the Philippines. And out of those 108, 73 million are active on social media. This is as of January. I'm pretty sure by this time it's almost 100% in terms of social media usage, because in the world, actually, the Philippines is number 1 in terms of number of users. Because we're very sociable people, di ba? Lahat na lang sinishare natin online. Kakain ka, isishare mo yung kakainin mo. At Pilipino din mahilig sa mga memes. Yun, hindi po meme yung pronunciation. Memes po yun. Mahilig tayong gumawa ng mga funny na posts online. And we really love to share because it's part of our culture, because we live in, close circles. We live with our families. So it's very convenient for us to share anything that we find amusing or entertaining online. And how do we spend it? Before the COVID crisis, we're already spending 9 hours of our day online. So imagine the amount of time Filipinos spend online, and how much for social media, almost 4 hours a day. So you know already where the eyes are. Kasi nga, di ba, in advertising, it's all about visibility. But right now, in this current day and age, it's all about finding your market. And where are they right now? They're all online. So, in terms of e-commerce, what do people do? So, nag-change na po ang behavior ng tao even before COVID crisis. Before you even go to a mall or in-store, what do? You search for the product online or the service. Kapag kami for example, my husband and I, before we go eat outside, we check reviews online. This is already part of our habit. Everything we have to search for online because we look for referral. So, ito tinatawag nating word of mouth. But with online, it's very easy na to find, reviews and to find what people like. And obviously, di ba nga, there's what we call a bandwagon effect. If someone wants to, try it, everyone tries it. It's like what you see in malls, like nung nauso ang mga milk tea, pag may isang pumila, anong gagawin ng iba? Pipila din. Kahit hindi mo alam kung anong pinipilaan mo. It's part of human behavior. So, you really want to do what everyone is doing. So, this is the effect of e-commerce right now. Even before COVID, people are already online searching before they purchase. So, if you're a business owner, what does this mean? Ang ibig sabihin lang po nito, madidiscover ka ba ng mga tao pag nag-type sila ng keyword or naghanap sila ng hashtag, makikita ka ba nila online? And then before the COVID crisis really started, ito po yung mga tinatawag nating industries where it's booming right now. For example, this is a given, food and personal care. So, and then of course there's electronics and physical media, which means, you know, entertainment. So after COVID, so I checked the latest study of Hootsuite, and it's the only thing that didn't grow during this period is fashion and beauty. Kasi nga, nasa bahay na lang yung mga tao, hindi na masyadong nag-aayos, hindi na masyadong nagbibihis. So, but food is really, really spiking right now. And the main problem of a lot of food businesses is that they're not online. They're mostly brick and mortar stores. So how do we move to that? Okay, so as I mentioned, the opportunity is really big. It's just a matter of you have to be agile, meaning you have to act fast and adapt to the current changes in the needs of people. So with the current scenario, may mga nanganak pa nga na business and some businesses even converted their products to adapt to the need. So how do we start? Okay, first of all, you have to be aware of what your target market really is. It has to be very specific. You cannot be everything to everyone. So think of one product or service that you can offer right now that is a need. And again, I have to emphasize, not all businesses can go online. And second, you shouldn't be thinking of what you want to sell. You have to think of what people want to buy, because that is online selling. Again, it's all about discoverability. Hahanapin ka ba nila? Hindi na ito outbound marketing na pupwersahin mo sila na makita yung product or service mo. Yes, there are people who use ads. There are institutions who use ads to make you see the products or service that they offer. But the habit right now of people is more on, what do? They download ad blockers. So paano na yan? Paano makikita yung ads mo? So you have to be part of what people are searching for online. And if in case you try to grow the number of products that you have, make sure that there's a logical thread. For example, if you're selling food, in the beginning, you can also sell beverage. Hindi pwedeng food tapos yung next na ibebenta mo sapatos. Medyo confusing po yun sa mga tao. So stick to your area of expertise. And then this is a very quick example. Rags to Riches by Reese Ruiz. So this is social enterprise. The good thing with Reese, they started this business as part of their Gawad Kalinga project. So this is to provide livelihood to the moms and the women in the communities. So they taught them how to weave. Originally, the products of Reese were all bags, woven bags. Alam niyo yung mga basahan na tinitinda sa streets, yung kulay puti. So they recycled all those rags and then they turned it into very, very beautiful bags. And even wallets, lahat na ng klase ng bag. But when the crisis came, it was a really good opportunity to pivot because right now there's no need for bags kasi nga we're not traveling, and they started weaving masks, face masks. And alam nyo naman ngayon, medyo ang hirap maghanap ng face mask, lahat kasi nag-required na magsuot. So imagine right now, hindi sila nawala ng presence, tuloy-tuloy pa rin kasi they're still part of what people are looking for. And again, it has to be embedded in your business. Is it something that people will look for right now? Is it a current need? And another good thing with their products is they are made by people in poor communities. So they're giving them livelihood. It's not just about creating a business for you, but also helping others. And people really support businesses who support other people. It's about goodwill. And another business, so UV Care. So before this wasn't really picking up a few years ago. This is one of our clients, and people are very like, what's UV? Baka masunog ako. There's a lot of misunderstanding. But right now they've seen the benefits, and again, you're selling something that's a current need, and people are clamoring for more products. And ang problema na ngayon is the supply. The demand is there. So make sure again that when you're trying to look for a product to sell, it's something that people want to buy. And when you have your own e-commerce store, think of the functionality. Maganda ba? Malinis ba siyang tignan sa mobile device? Madali ba siyang i-browse online? Madali ba siyang hanapin? Tama ba yung mga keywords na ginagamit natin? And then here, step 2, continuing step 1, aside from thinking what product people want to buy, think of also what problem you're trying to solve. So again, this is another client of ours. Ninja Maid was born out of a need to provide help for those who don't have helpers at home. But with the current crisis, bigla rin nag-spike yung bookings nila. Why? Because a lot of establishments need disinfectants right now, and they're hiring and outsourcing it to businesses like Ninja Maid already to help them disinfect their buildings, their houses. So ang ganda ng ano nila, business model, kasi nga they're solving a problem, and people always have problems. It's just a matter of you thinking of a solution for them. And then here, so how do you drill down your audience? There's some questions that you can ask yourself. For example, ano bang mabibigay kong benefit para sa mga tao? And then, anong klase bang age or group ng mga tao yung makaka-appreciate ng product ko? At isipin nyo rin, ito ba yung mga tao na may anak o wala? Kasi when you're thinking of a product, you really have to think of their behavior. Paano ba sila mag-purchase online? Ito ba yung tipong pagpupunta ng mall dati, nagmamadali parate? So, dapat yung product ko, yung madaling i-move, yung gano'n. So, ganun pa rin ang mindset. And then, what are their interests? Kasi when you create an ad later on, for example, if you want to do a Facebook ad, you really have to know what the interests of your target market are. Hindi lang siya yung simpleng 18 to 65 years old. Tapos, ang target mo, buong Pilipinas. So, medyo mahirap po yun, lalo na ngayon na may ECQ, may limitations tayo sa travel. So, and then the interest, ito ba yung mga mahilig kumain? Anong klaseng pagkain? Baka Japanese lang ang gusto, tapos ina-advertise mo sa lahat. So, mahirap po na aiming blindly when it comes to knowing your audience. Dapat kilalang-kilala mo sila para mas madali kang makaisip ng produkto na akma sa gusto nila. And then step 2, so create an online store. There's several ways to do this. The most basic one is build a social media page, and then you can create what we call a button, or in other words, the call to action. And then that call to action could be to visit an online order form. So it's very, very simple. We'll show you later how an order form looks like. And what it does is, of course, the page will be the one to showcase the products and what problem you're trying to solve. And in this case, people need food, naumay na sa pagkain, wala na maisip na menu, so gusto nilang bumili sa labas. Tapos maghahanap sila, pag nakita kayo, madali bang mag-order? Baka naman through Viber group lang mag-order, medyo hindi po yun safe kasi hindi mo alam kung legit ba yung business na yan, meron ba silang e-payment platform, paano ko babayaran yan? Mahirap mag-send ng money na wala kang marireceive na resibo. So, yung mga ganun po, walang confirmation na natanggap yung order ko. Ang hirap po i-track niyan manually. So, with an order form, it saves you time as the business owner, and also it provides, credibility and assurance to the customer that their business, the transaction is legitimate. If you want to level up, of course, you can join e-commerce portals or marketplaces. In the case of food, there's Food Panda, there's Grab Food, there's Lala Food, and then there's Where to Eat Philippines. And if you're in the non-food segment or in the essentials like personal care products, then you can also join Lazada or Shopee, or right now Carousel is also picking up. And later on, when your business is much, much bigger and you have more products to offer, then you can think about building your own website. And this way, there's no more transaction fees that you share to the platform that your products are in. Kasi right now, when you load, for example, in an e-commerce marketplace, they get a portion of your earnings. So tinatawag natin commission fees, or they do profit sharing. So they get a piece of your profit margin. Kung maliit lang yung margin mo, di mas mahirapan ka later on. And then here, a very quick sample using an online order form with a social media page. So ang very important pong matandaan, kasi when we think about social media, nakikita ko ngayon, marami nang nagbebenta sa Facebook. There is a marketplace, but marketplace is customer to customer. It's not business to customer. When you think about it, pwede kang mag-sell ng kahit second hand, or something na napagsawaan mo na. When we think about the business, we have to protect our brand. So when you create your social media page, make sure that you don't sell there, because people don't want to be sold. They want to provide they want to look for a solution. So when you're building your page, think of that in at the back of your head. And the post should be 80% informational. So hindi po parating puro benta lang, kasi gusto nilang malaman anong produkto nyo. Lalo na ngayon, ang hirap na magtiwala, di ba? Kasi nga hindi mo nakikita yung binibili mo, hindi mo pa natitikman, pero bibili ka. So how do you convince them to buy? And here, how do e-commerce portals work? So as I mentioned, some of them, they do profit sharing. So they get a piece of the sales. And then the other ones, they do per transaction. So they get a percent of the sales based on the transaction fee. So the pros and cons. So we will be very, very, honest. Of course, as a benefit, it's very easy to join an e-commerce portal. You just have to prepare your photos and then your, product descriptions, upload it, and then in a few hours, you're live already. And then the customer service management is outsourced to the e-commerce portal. So sila po yung client facing. And then, of course, mas madali siya kung baguhan ka kasi yun nga, lahat na lang i-outsource mo. And then for the likes of Shopee and Lazada, they have their own fulfillment process. So hindi mo na rin iisipin, makikipag-partner ba ako or mag-hire ba ako ng rider para mag-deliver ng mga produkto ko, or makikipag-partner ba ako sa courier services. Ang risk lang dito is, of course, everyone is in e-commerce portal. So you need to be able to stand out. And that's something that your social media page can help you with. Kasi nga word of mouth ang importante. And another is there's minimal control in the brand and reputation, because again, you're side by side with everyone else. And for some, it can be expensive if your margins are not that big. Kasi nga they get a cut of your margin. So these are some links in the previous sessions you've already heard from, Food Panda, from Grab. So I'm not gonna delve on this any longer. And for e-commerce portal, so again, Shopee and Lazada, very, very simple, the way that you can join them. So again, you just create a seller account, you take photos of your products, and make sure when you take pictures, it's really good. It's kasi again, imagine that's the only thing that will convince your customer right now, aside from what you're talking about. The images that you're sharing is, your online portfolio. Think of it as your online brand already. So again, the photos have to be really good. It's not just, smartphone, pipicturean ko lang yan, tapos yun na yun, okay na. Kailangan po maganda po ang pictures. Hindi kailangan ng professional, pero kailangan lang po maayos ang pagka-picture. And then, management of the store, it's very simple. So they have a back end for you to track all the incoming orders and for you to, ship your products or fulfill them. And then, as I mentioned, ang kagandahan pag may e-commerce portal, sila na yung bahala sa fulfillment process. So, hindi na kayo mahihirapan mag-isip kung paano makakarating yung produkto nyo sa customer. And then here, so for those naman who want to actually create their own online store, there are platforms for this. And again, the benefits of this is you can control the experience of the customer. And syempre, yung competition wala kasi nga kayo lang yung nafi-feature. And then, it creates a recall. Mas madaling matandaan kapag may sarili kang domain. For example, ragstoriches.com, ninjaph.com, lolamove.com. It's very easy for people to find you when you have your own online store. And the other benefit is, of course, you keep all of the margins because it's all about your products already. And then you can just partner with, the likes of Grab or Lala Move to deliver your products, or you could use LBC or JRS. And the need here, of course, is you need to have someone who have some know-how in terms of creating a website. But right now, it's quite easy when you go online. You can check Shopify, or it's very simple to create your own e-commerce page or website. And another thing is, of course, it's very important that you have e-payment channels, so electronic payments. This was actually a project of mine with USAID 2 years ago. So I'm sure you've used InstaPay and PesoNet. So that is the system that you use to transfer payments from GCash to your bank account, or from one bank to another, like from BPI or BDO or Union Bank to BDO. So as long as you have a bank account with an institution who has InstaPay or PesoNet, then you could transfer payments online easily. And another thing is you can also have an e-wallet like GCash, Paymaya, or Coin. So this gives you several options for your customers to transfer payments easily online without them having to go out and line up. Kasi nga, delikado pa right now. So as much as possible, we want people to stay at home so they can make use of electronic payment, platforms for them to send their payment. And again, how to make your website. There's Shopify. That's the easiest in terms of those who have a little knowledge of how to create a website. Or, for example, it's our company who also develops websites. As I showed you earlier, those were some of our projects. And step 3, so you need a social media page. Again, this is for you to have your online portfolio. So this is a very, very simple way for you to get word of mouth, because at the end of the day, marketing is all about referral. So, and then it's all about having a product worth referring to others. So think of it as networking, 'di ba? Yung mga business na nagne-networking, think of it as networking gone viral. So ganun ang effect ng social media because we have frictionless sharing. It's very simple to share. Just click the share button and you can send it to your email, you can send it to several groups, and then it's visible to, a lot of people already. And it also helps you engage real time. Kasi right now nga, dahil wala na yung face-to-face, how do you develop the relationship? So that's what social media is about, to socialize. Let's not forget the social there, because usually people just post products with prices. That's not gonna create a relationship. When you think about social media, think about how you're going to use it to talk and engage with your customers. So you have to create, of course, a social calendar. When I say social calendar, think of what you will be sharing on a day-to-day basis. Hindi pwedeng kung ano lang yung maisip mo, okay na. Kasi nga, ang importante dito, ito ba ay worth sharing? So think before you click. Is it something that I want people to share to others? So nandito rin papasok yung sensitivity. So kailangan sensitive tayo, lalo na po ngayon masyado pong maraming mga posts na hindi po akma sa current na situation natin. So be careful with what you share. And when you think of content, is it something memorable? Is it something visual? Kasi nga, ang importante ngayon, it's all about the photos, the videos. Is it consistent? On brand ba yan? Kasi mamaya, hindi bagay sa branding nyo. And then, relevant ba kayo ngayon? Kasi kung hindi, di sayang lang na naggagawa kayo ng effort tapos hindi naman relevant. And then again, engaging. Kailangan gugustuhin ng mga tao na makipag-usap sa inyo pag nakita nila yung post ninyo. So I'll give you a very good sample. I'm sure some of you have seen this. Ligo Sardines is killing it right now in social media. Their posts are getting a lot of shares. One of their posts, I think, umabot ng 1.2 million in terms of views. And it's just a photo. So imagine, ang ganda ng engagement nila. So these are samples of things that you can share online. You can share, surveys. You could share announcements, like if you have a new product offering or you have a promo, you can ask questions, or in their case, ito, epic content. What do we mean? Ito yung popular na topic, makikiride ka sa current na pinag-uusapan. Parang a few months ago, nauso yung Tala Challenge. Everyone was posting their version of the dance. Right now naman, uso ang social distancing, and nakiride dyan si Ligo. They created this, and then it's very funny kasi nga when in the Philippines, when we talk about, sometimes sardinas mode, that's what people call it, na siksikan. So it's very appropriate for the current situation. And it's making light of things. It's not insensitive. It's something that appeals to Filipinos because Pinoys love anything that's funny. We're all about either something emotional or something funny. So when you think about content, think about your readers. Is this something that they will appreciate? And then here, again, engagement. Ang importante po sa social media is for people to get back at you and to be your marketing army. Kasi nga, when you really have good content, you don't even need a lot of marketing budget kasi meron na kayong fans na tinatawag. Sila na yung mag-share para sa inyo. Sila na yung tinatawag natin ngayon na influencers. Kapag may nag-post ng product na binili from you, this is very powerful. Mas powerful pa to sa artista na nag-share ng product nyo. Bakit? Kasi these are the actual users. You know that they're gonna share it to people who will also appreciate the product. So kilala na nila yung mga kamag-anak nila, kaibigan. Alam nila yung magugustuhan ng mga tao. So imagine if you have a lot of people who are continuously sharing your products and your services, then that's the marketing budget that you have. Instead of, you know, allocating 20% of your sales to marketing, you could empower your customers by inviting them to share if they really like the product. How about you share online? And as Filipinos, we love to share it. Kaya lang po medyo double-edged sword to kasi minsan mag-share kasi ayaw nila. So be careful. Again, it's a reputational risk. Make sure that you take care of your customers online. So pag may nag-post po na maganda or hindi kagandahan, make sure sasagutin po natin ng maayos. Hindi po natin papatulan kung hindi maganda. At i-check nyo po kung ano ba, totoong customer ba yan. Kasi ngayon, hindi natin maiwasan. May mga nagtutroll as we call it. And then how to create engagement. Yun nga, create good content. The next is, you know, invite your customers to share their experience with you, and then ask their permission if we could, you know, repost what you've shared, and then ask creative questions. So, sample again, si Ligo, favorite ko to lately, maganda yung campaign nila. Ang tanong, day X of quarantine, naligo na ba kayo? So, huwag kalimutan magpatayo pagkatapos. And then they feature their product, the tuyo sardine. So again, very appropriate, and it's funny as usual. So they really, you know, did well in this campaign. And then contest and giveaways, uso po to ngayon. And then a lot of people are very generous. They're sharing a lot of their products for you to try. And what does this make people do? When we share, mas natutuwa yung mga tao, din mas pinupost nila. And yun nga yung gusto natin. We want to create our marketing army online using our customers themselves. Ayan. And then, of course, this all can be done using tools. So hindi naman po tayo kailangang magpakahirap. May tinatawag po tayong tools for automation. For example, Buffer. This is a free app. So you use this to automate your content. So for example, mag-create ako ng 3 post. Hindi naman ako kailangan mag-online every time magpo-post ako. Lahat yan, ilo-load ko siya sa Buffer, and then si Buffer na ang makakakita ng tamang time slot kasi hindi naman po online ang lahat ng tao all the time. And then Buffer will know what time of day your audience is online, and that's when it will share para mas maraming makakita. Kasi kung ikaw magpo-post ka ng 8 a.m. tapos yung target audience mo 9 pa ng gabi nagtitingin sa Facebook or sa Instagram, edi sayang yung post mo. If you use Buffer, they can detect that automatically for you. And then Canva is a free graphic design tool. So kung hindi kayo marunong mag-Photoshop, paano ba natin paggagandahin yung mga post natin? Then use Canva. It's free, and then the paid plan is also very affordable. So pag gusto nyo mag-level up later on, you could also use the paid plan. And then step 4. So it's very important to do online advertising, lalo na pag bago pa yung business nyo online. Kasi nga, you have to be discoverable. Pero kung di nila alam na nandyan kayo, paano kayo mahahanap? So you could start with outbound muna, tinatawag outbound marketing. You're the one pushing the information to your target audience. So you could create ads. Very easy po to when it comes to Facebook. There's already a button in your page. It's called Boost Post. That's the simplest way to do it. And again, make sure that you select the right audience for your ads. And then, how much do you spend per ad for it to be effective? Mahal na po yung 2,000 in a week kung tama po yung audience nyo. Kasi nga, ang kailangan po natin is we pick the right audience, and then when they see your ad, they'll be the ones to share it themselves. Hindi mo na kailangan magdagdag ng sobrang laking ad budget. Kasi may mga ads ngayon na nakita mo, 2.1 million views, pero mag-ilan lang yung nag-reply. 3. Ibig sabihin, ang laki ng budget niyan, pero walang pakialam yung mga tao. This is not something that they wanna share. pinush lang nila para makita mo. Nakita mo nga pero wala ka namang ginawa. So hindi siya tinatawag na potential customer. Ang gusto natin, yung may makakakita at may gagawin. Magko-comment, mag-share, magla-like, at lalo na magtatanong, mag-i-inquire. So yun ang purpose kung bakit tayo mag-create ng ads. Hindi lang para makita, kundi para mag-engage. Kasi again, that's the current behavior right now. We need to keep people engaged online. Otherwise, we're gonna get drowned by a lot of options that other businesses offer. And for targeting, so in Facebook, kapag kinalikot nyo po yan, may iba-iba pong ways to target. Kapag medyo advanced na po kayo, may tinatawag tayong custom audience. So for example, in our case, when I manage campaigns for some of our clients, a pharmaceutical company, an antibiotic. So we got consent from all of their subscribers to use their emails for email marketing. In that same email database, pag in-upload po yan sa Facebook, ang mangyayari po, pag nag-create ako ng ad, sila na mismo yung makakita kung sino mismo yung target customer ko. Nakamatch na po siya. Alam ni Facebook kung sino mismo yung hinahanap. Pero protected naman po yung email, hindi naman siya exposed. And then, the good thing with that is, okay, so alam na ni Facebook na ito yung mga tao na gustong makakita ng product ko. Now, the next step is, hanap kaya ako ng kapareho nila ng behavior. Hindi na to yung personas na segmentation and marketing na traditional. This one is by behavior. Sino pa yung same yung hinahanap na keywords, same your interest, same yung browsing times. So gagawa si Facebook ng look-alike. So meron akong, for example, 1,000 email addresses. And then what Facebook will do, I'll say na gusto ko 99% kamukha ng audience ko. Gagawa ko ng look-alike. From 1,000, nanganak siya to 88,000. So imagine, mas marami nang makakakita ng ad ko for a 2,000 peso budget. So ganun ang power ng Facebook ads right now. It's very effective. It's just a matter of making sure na tama po yung audience. Okay, and with that, I'll transfer you to Dean Pax to discuss more about our case study.
Thank you, Karen. So, sana po natuto kayo dun sa ano. So, actually, 2-day course po namin binibigay yan, either for big companies or for our individual MSMEs. Tinuro po ni Karen ang digital marketing and paano ang prinsipyo natin on doing an online store. So upfront, pinakita namin ang pros and cons of going into our e-commerce platform. Magagaling po sila, no? Pero at the same time, kung ikaw ay SME at nag-uumpisa ka lang, baka gusto mo DIY, do it yourself with a little bit. So ano ang pros and the con? Ang dami po ng pro. Ang con doon, sasagutin ko ngayon, dalawa lang yung para bang medyo disadvantage. Either gagawa ka ng website or kukuha ka ng ahensya. So wag ka muna kukuha ng ahensya, gumamit ka muna ng Canva. Yun po yung mga free tools sa pinakita kanina ni Karen. And then yung isa naman, yung website, of course, we do that in IT-PAC, may mga nagtanong na. Pero we're suggesting gawin niyo muna ang online store in Facebook. Ito po ang aking tatalakayin ngayong araw. Papakita namin that in the past 2 weeks, we've created Lola Move, ready to eat, ready to cook meals by Mami Nena. So can we start with the next slide? So April 14 to April 30 po namin ginawa yan. It is an actual case implementation. What we teach is what we have reached. So ito po, ang background po ni Lola Nena, it was just an idea na si Mami Nena, kaya si Nanay Nena, gusto magbigay sa mga nanays ng Mount Carmel. She already retired in 2015 dahil nagiba ni President Estrada ang Quiapo Market. So since then, she retired, but every Christmas, gumagawa pa rin siya ng kanyang mga authentic chorizo hamonado at saka embutido chaurico all the way from Andalusia, Spain. So at 88, she revived. She has the burden to give using her time, talent, and the treasured recipes. On the day of the birthday, we did a pilot run of Mami Nena, Pil Hispanic. Yung PH po, Philippines Pil Hispanic products. So we officially launched, makikita nyo ang date, April 20, which was just 12 days ago, the official launch of the Lola Move Facebook page, complete with orders and call button. So, 1 week pa lang po nung ginawa yung online store. Ito po ang power ng social media at saka ng digital. 1 week pa lang po, sold out po agad ang produkto ni Lola Move, and then we had to rest kasi kakasuhan kami ni Mami Nena of abuse of women and children. So next slide tayo, Karen, para tapusin natin, mag-Q&A tayo. Next slide. So sabi ni Karen, engagements tayo. Ang engagement po, hindi po kayo ang magpo-push. Ang engagement are the testimonials coming from your beloved customers that become loyal and soon advocates. These are the real customers. Makikita nyo, Marby Shingo, of course, Patricia Stevens, of course, Karen started, may video, may pictures, the actual paano pagluluto, the actual pagkakuha ng produkto. Next slide tayo, Karen. Karen, next slide tayo, please. Okay, so next slide. Next slide. Okay, ayan pa. We are also on Instagram. Up, previous slide muna tayo. Previous slide. Karen, previous slide, please. Okay, we are on Instagram. So again, more endorsements, branch tayo, Yummy Embutido, Lola Move. So si Lola Move po, ang the man behind Lola Move is Lolo Move. So ako po yun. So pati Instagram, muy delicioso. These are the customers promoting your own product. By God, wow, this is evidence. So next slide tayo, Karen. So ito ngayon, ang epic. This is what you call an epic content. Bakit epic? So ang epic po is recent relevant training. Epic, yung kanina nakita nyo na Ligo, now Lola Move. So ginawa po ni Tita Baby. So gumawa siya ng video, kanta ni Claire de la Puente, sayang, blah blah blah. So gano'n. So it has reached 294,000 views. Lola Move was picked by social influencers. So, and then Marby Go says, the best hamonado I've tasted or had in a long time. So Marby is an editor-in-chief in one of the magazines. Next slide tayo, Karen. So, Lola Move will soon be in COVID Diaries. She will now be interviewed by COVID Diaries. Sabi dito ng editor-in-chief and founder ng COVID Diaries, Millennial Edition. We saw how you've been doing well this time and would like to interview you via phone. Write a feature about the article of Lola Move and then schedule a Zoom interview. Wow! So sabi nga dito, so that's Mami Nena in painting. That's Lola Move. Okay, next slide tayo. So, sabi nga ni Asik Jean, the choice, you need a choice. So, do you have a choice, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen watching, over 4,000 kayo dyan, the choice to be a small fry in a big pond of a digital platform or do it yourself. So, Facebook market page po yan. When you are starting, you wanna be you as the MSME and you as the customers would want a platform where there are no hidden charges. Kailangan intindihin nyo mabuti, may magandang reboot si Asik Jean, libre yata ang sign up, but please compute your margins. There are some platforms that will charge 20%. Either you absorb that minus sa net income nyo or you pass that on as a pricing to your consumer. Next slide. Next slide tayo, Karen. So, how did we do it? We will show you the secret sauce. We will show you the setup of a business page is very easy. Please, please, you only have 4 engagement button and one of that is not like. Like is never an engagement button. Ang inyong engagement button, it would be shared. You shop now, kaya importante. They ask, they send a message or you already put, ask Lola Move PH, what kind of food you serve? Can I see the menu? Where is it located? Please, those are your engagement button. Like is never an engagement button. Next slide. Next slide tayo, Karen. So, ordering kailangan simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You call that a fulfillment process. Step by step, from the order to the pay to the delivery, I will simplify. It's called fulfillment. You need to set up your email account. You need to have access to electronic payment and even your bank account para pumasok. Whether it's GCash, BDO, Instant Pay, any electronic payment would do wonders. Next slide. Next slide. So, important sections for you to be able to do retail online. Pumasok po kayo ng Lola Nena Lola Move.ph, si Aka Mami Nena, you will see 4 forms. Ito mga forms na ito libre. Whether you use Jot form, you use Google form, plus the Canva, that should create the only 4 forms that you would need to run a business online. Next slide. Next slide. So, kung ano po ang nilagay niyong pangalan sa Lola Move PH order form, kunyari, Dinpax Lapid Test, andun yung number, andun yung address, andun yung dapat na tamang email, andun din yung order, tsaka kailang pipick upin, that will go to the next slide tayo, Karen. So, there must be an automated confirmation email. Your Viber communities, your food communities will never give you that. Iisa-isahin nyo. The other, tapos makikita nyo that any other comment, like can you give free suka please, makikita mo doon, free suka please, ando sa baba. Can you accept GCash? Makikita nyo po sa baba, can you accept GCash? Your actual name, your actual address, your actual telephone number, or all then plus your pickup date. This is the simplest confirmation form, putting your order and pickup deliveries in one place. Next slide. So, simplify your menu. Make the customer choose the best buys. Please, do not swamp your menu with a lot of things. Just only sell what is relevant and what is reigning. Put your best sellers and put your best buys. So, next slide. So, eto po. Again, a little bit of coding. So, IT Spa can help you. Leadmore can do the training. You need a back end for order matching with inventory and then the release. Kung ano po yung sinulat sa menu at saka sa inyong detail, that is reflected in a back end that gives you the submission date, your name, your pickup date, the orders individually tallied, and then at the edit link, ready for pickup, and then we will see that. So next slide. Next slide tayo. Pivoting Mami Nena into retail online. Gusto sana namin branding was Aling Nena, Mami Nena into retail online. But what we teach is you have to have an epic content or a memorable name. So, what is memorable? Recent, relevant, training. Ngayon po, with all the ordering is that transportation network of Lola Move. So, initerate namin Lola Move. So, ang dali tandaan, Lola Move, Lola Move, Lolo Move, pivoting Mami Nena into retail online. Brands make customers remember. The physical picture and your product may be temporary, but emotions will last. Last na tayo, Abby. Next slide. Abby, next slide tayo, please. Okay. Sa left side po, yan ang normal. Pampalengke. Sabog. Walang katorya-torya. Will you be appetized by that kind of page or that kind of So, ang nakaka-problema is don't be a wet market product. Wet the market with your product. From something normal to the new normal. The new normal, just use Canva. You don't need an agency. Makikita nyo yung aming Spanish workout, in-overlay mo lang ng frame, nilagyan mo ng magandang order na, nilagay mo ang presyo, nilagay mo yung brand mo, tapos na po yun. You just need 2 to 3 posters to be able to sell retail online. Next page. Next page. Okay, we'd like to end. Mami Nena is Lola Move. Maybe old at 88, but she is definitely bold and gold in times of COVID-19, turning crisis into an online opportunity and giving the profits to charity. Nanay Nena lives and thrives with Nanays of the Mount Carmel. If she can do it, you too can do it. If you are not higher than 88, if you are lower than 88 years old, by God, you should do it. So Lola Nena is Lola Move. So, powered by Leadmore and IT Spa. So, ano pa yung, wala tayong, ayun, okay. Para lang, I'm doing an entrep leadership for business advantage and continuity, teaching nyo. So, Both me and Karen will be there. You will also have Paul Sangalang that will teach you how you want to manage your HR, including Dolly tips. You will also have Leading in Finance, not Building in Finance, by Tess Bacularan. That will be a very, very in-depth masterclass from May 9 up to May 18, including your recitals. I am a mentor, but rest assured, you go to this LBAC, I will be your mentor and you will be my mentee. IT SPAC, develop and deliver digital platforms. Lead more with Trend Digital for websites, social media, and many, many more. Just take a picture of those emails and those websites. Please check out Lola Move PH para makita nyo that what we teach is what we have reached in 2 weeks' time. Again, Lola Move in 2 weeks' time have generated a sales of 100,000 pesos. Thank you. I love DTI. So my jacket is DTI. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Asik Jean. Thank you, Joel, for all this opportunity.
Okay.
1 hour.
So many questions.
1 hour.
Yes, that's why I was talking really fast. Yes.
Hello. Marami pong salamat, Karen and Dean Pax. Alam mo si Dean Pax
Pinagod mo ako, Joel?
Dean Pax, alam mo, Dean Pax, every time mag-lecture ka o mag-share, di ba? Lakas ng impact. Pero ngayon, nakita ko na yung secret sauce mo nagdala ka ng softener.
Yep,
Di ba? Para yung Tormentor, hindi all the way, di ba? May softener. Galing ng partnership, di ba? Very good.
Thank you.
Now we have a problem, and I have a problem kasi your presentation, Karen and Dean Pax, was very good. Ngayon, kulang tayo ng oras sa questions.
Yeah.
So,
Pwede mag-extend kahit 10 minutes so we answer some questions?
Of course, we will extend, di ba? I mean,
okay.
Ano ba mas...
Asik Jean naman, pwede naman siguro.
Oo, pwede tayo mag-extend. So we will extend. So I hope you guys can extend. So to everybody, I know you guys are excited. We will extend. Okay? Tsaka kung I'm sure umorder na kayo from all of the... Sana umorder kayo sa Lola Move bago tayo nagsimula. Di ba? Para by lunchtime, punong-puno yung... Pero next time, di ba?
Thank you.
So we'll add a few 10 minutes of questions. Now, there are so many questions, but
thank you.
I'll start with one question. Kasi, you know, a lot of the transformation from your traditional business to an online business, a lot of it's mindset.
Yep.
A lot of mindset change. So let me ask you, what mindset, who are the ones who won't survive?
The one who would, and this is a very, very controversial answer. The one who will not survive is the optimist. Bakit? When President Duterte announced our first lockdown from March 14 to April 14, being an optimist, sabi mo, the economy will open by Easter. Easter came and Easter is gone. Then, sabi mo sunod, next lockdown natin. So hanggang April 30. Sabi ngayon ng optimist, after April 30, Labor Day, we will start laboring to start the business. It did not happen. Ngayon, May 15, by May 16, you're all excited, optimist. You go back to the mall, you go back to your store, you think it will be the same number of customers. It will not be the same. In fact, if I would like to put it in my own way, new normal is below normal of 2019. So, the one who will not survive is continuously parang being too optimistic on a recession situation. Joel, Asik Jean, this is my third recession period. My first is 1997. My second is 2007, 2008. Now is my third. I've been battle scarred. During the first recession, I lost $500,000 US. So I know what a recession is. Now, if you're too optimistic that you think it is a V curve, meaning we dive too deep and then we will grow up again immediately, I don't think so. You have to have the reality, the brutal reality, and yet you have to give a glimmer of hope. And Lola Move PH is a glimmer of hope if you will have to do and take action.
Great. So You want to add to that, Karen? Who won't survive? You know, very clear kay Dean Pax, yung sobrang optimistic, di ba? Hindi na sila nagiging realistic. You know, so
In terms of
who
industry,
won't survive? Yeah.
well, it's the one are not needed right now unless, because again, you cannot fall in love with your product. But sad to say, of course, for those that have been established for the longest time, you have to adapt to the changing needs, and it's not gonna stay the same even for a year or so. It's gonna be changing over time because we've seen what happens when this kind of crisis hits us. So as a I'm also an entrepreneur, so I have to change the way I do my business. So for those who are not willing to change, then they're gonna, die slowly a painful death. That's all I think about.
Okay, thank you. There's one question from Lucena City. I'll read it para siyang case study, but I hope you can answer it briefly. Galing kay Eileen Renta. Diba? I'm processing natural juice of calamansi and goyabano. Our production site is in Lucena City. I'm planning how to distribute to target markets. We're developing a storage site in Dasmariñas City. There's a frozen commodity or chilled since there are no preservatives, all natural. Who do you recommend as our distribution channel partner?
For as far as I know, Food Panda is already expanding to South Luzon, so where Dasma is. So that's one. And of course, you could tap on your local partners. For example, if they're gonna do same day deliveries, there's Grab and Lala for that. But they have to build their online shop for that. But it cannot be on Shopee and Lazada because it's perishable goods. So it's either Food Panda or Grab Food or Lala Food.
Okay, thank
The
you.
alternate is what we did with Lola Move, which is on Facebook, and then we created an online order form to capture the details as well as the payments. And then the style is the customer is the one who sets the pickup. So they inform us when they're ready to pick up their purchase.
Okay, thank you. Another one is that if the person is a home product, ano ba pangalan? Ang bilis ng gumalaw ng ano. Ito, galing kay Eric Alvin po. What about home products? If it's they make it themselves and everything like that, what are your suggestions?
Lola Move is a homemade product, Joel.
Okay, so homemade so you can see the difference. So it's a homemade product all the way to 100,000 in 2 weeks, no?
Yeah, and then I will correct that. 2 weeks minus 3 days kasi nawalan kami ng stock.
Sobra ka namang precise, di ba?
Sorry.
Last week.
May question dito. Single pa ba si Lola Move? Joke lang yan.
Byuda at age 32. She is a survivor of the Japanese war. Kaya she knows how to live in a war scenario.
Great. So, assuming eto maganda to, Dexter Andrada, assuming you guys have a magic ball or a magic ball for the future, which industries will be strong for the next month and the year as we move to the new normal?
The industries definitely would be all the essentials natin.
Food.
Of course, food retailing will also be. Ngayon lang Karen, grabe ang dami ng food retail ngayon online, di ba?
Yes, yes.
And then, of course, if your education, no? So, parang tayo, Joel, we can pivot. Actually, ginagawa na natin yan with our Singapore partners in TEMS, right? Even before the COVID-19, you are ahead of the curve. Talagang idol kita, boss, na you have seen how things are. So now you are ready to make sure that your classrooms can be Zoomable or Googleable, di ba? Or Google Classroom yon, di ba? Or Zoom ka, or you do MS Teams. Pag opisina naman, you have to do you have to do all your other to-do and project management things, di ba? So other businesses that will also thrive, of course, beauty, health, especially with nutrition and your supplements, will thrive now because you want to increase the immunity and the protection of your body. So anything on healthcare, anything on ICT, anything on logistics, our education, retail business. I guess yun muna. But all of that I will be discussing in my Entrep Leadership for Business Advantage, because hindi lang tayo step yung, di ba ang tinutunan natin is socio-economic, political, and technological. What I will teach is PESTEL. Dinagdagan ko na yung ating step with PESTEL. So back tayo as the mentor of the Dean ng Entrepreneur School of Asia.
Okay. Karen, can you please, thanks, Dean. While we're answering, because a lot of people want to know how to get in touch with you for consulting purposes. So, lakas ng benta. So, can you please post again the last slide with all of the contact details. So, while we're answering, at least they can see. Ito, Dean, it's an interesting question. Good morning from Luisita Marzan. Good morning, speakers. Question for the distinct Dean Pax. How do you see the new normal in the academe? How will the entrepreneurship programs offered at the tertiary level become more engaging and hands-on in terms of entrepreneurial skills that need to be learned in the traditional setup? So basically, what will happen now to educational institutions? So that's a good question. They're asking you.
We're already doing that, because we've got a big project with USAID that we will be training the nanays in the various community. Our pilot will be about 500 nanays, like Lola Move. So originally, when we had the concept of a seminar, it was about 70 or about 60, 70 participants in the boot camp. For you now to have an effective training or curriculum, the seminars have to now be dissected. Para bang micro-learning ka lang ngayon. The most is about an hour, and the other 30 minutes, which is what we're trying to do, is the Q&A for them to absorb both the principle and, more importantly, those in the education. You now need, your principal needs a case simulation, which I showed you, Lola Move PH. Beyond that, you will now have to have consistent assignments on incremental basis. So, kung ang iyong class size is 50, sad to say, 25 to 30 ka, and you will have a drill master. It cannot be now just the speaker talking. Look at me now. A 1-hour session to be engaging, amusing, educating. Kailangan edutainment tayo, Joel. You have to be lively on your lecture Zoom. If ikay nagbabasa lang ng blackboard, i-gray out ng estudyante mo yung kanyang video, matutulog yon or gagawa ng iba. So everybody needs to be engaged in an online educational platform.
Okay, guys, thank you. There's this two things lang. I think we'll have two last questions, but interesting. Will you make your slides available to people to be distributed? There's so many questions.
Unfortunately, you can just screenshot it, because some of those slides are proprietary. We've just given it for free. But if you attend our lead work classes, of course, you get a workbook. But here, pagtsagaan nyo na i-stop yung video and just screenshot the slides. Those are the same content. So, wag na po tayong tamad. Kunan nyo, dilibre po namin itong napakamahal na seminar. Kunan nyo naman ng inyong computer.
Okay, so ganun lang po. There's a video anyway in the Facebook Live, so you can take the screenshot.
Correct.
Ito may question from Raymond Tapel. Hindi po ba IP infringement ang Lola Move? Interesting. Kasi it creates a cloud in the market since kilala po si Lala Move. Thanks po.
Hindi po. Actually, naka-register na kami ng DTI eh. At tapos, I have my domain in GoDaddy. I mean, it doesn't, Lola Move PH is not really Lala Move. Tsaka magkaiba ang negosyo po doon. Attorney Roel Barba, even our DTI people will all agree with me. That is not an infringement.
Okay, great. So, maybe, thank you. So, interesting. So, it's a great, that's what you call creativity. Kasi you don't, there's a lot of things that don't need to be invented. You just have to innovate, di ba? So, and that's part of it. So, kaya madali i-remember yung Lola Move, obviously, is that may recall because it's a really great branding actually, and even the graphics, excellent. Actually, after seeing that, Dean Pax, and then the fact that you have to train 500 nanays, tingin ko, ang tatawag ko na sa'yo ngayon, kilabot ng mga nanay, di ba?
Kilabot ng mga lola.
Lola.
Pinaganda ko na nga, kilabot ng mga nanay para at least...
Lola, kasi I'm a lolo. Kaya the man behind Lola Move is Lolo Move. Again, we have the domain. We have those domains.
Okay, so great. Thank you very much. Now, all attendees, please answer the survey when you leave this webinar because we want to make things better. DTI has done everything for us for free. Ang kailangan naman po ng DTI, information of how to make this better. We would appreciate if you can really click the link on the control-based survey. So with that, I'd like to end this thing by first and foremost thanking Karen. Nice to meet you, Karen. It's my first time to meet you. Very impressive. You know how to make something very complex, simple, and easy to understand. A lot benefited, and a lot of people want to join your next workshops. And of course, my old friend, Dean Pax, Lapid, tormenting and inspiring at the same time. We need that. Thank you for your wisdom and sharing your time. It's very hard to get these two people, and I'm really glad they joined us for this one. So we still have 3 webinars today. Asik Jean, if you still want to speak, we still have about 400 participants who don't want to leave and still want to listen. Maybe you'd like to just share how DTI will further help people. But thank you, Dean Pax. Thank you, Karen. Mabuhay po kayo.
Welcome. Anytime for ating para sa bayan, para sa kababayan. Thank you, Asik Jean. Thank you, Sekmon. Thank you, Director Mabok, Director Joel, and of course, the Thames team. Maraming salamat. Our pleasure with Lead More.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. We enjoyed this session.
Okay, thank you, Asik Jean.
Thank you very much, Dean Pax, and thank you very much, Karen. Karen, you've gotten really very good feedback. I have been monitoring all the feedback that you have. So thank you, Karen. You're very, very effective, and congratulations. No, alam niyo ho, mga kababayan, yung mga iniimbita po natin, hindi po natin sila binayaran. Pro bono po lahat yan. At kahit na ho sinasabi nga natin, meron ho silang mga kanya-kanyang mga sarili nilang produkto, sinishare ho nila ang kanilang mga kaalaman para ho sa atin. And this is the beauty of what we call the bayanihan spirit. Wala po ako talagang naringgan na kahit sino man sa kanila na nagreklamo o masarap po sila kausap at sabihin natin ho sa kanilang lahat na mag-share kayo at ito po, nandito po sila. So ito po ngayon, last day na po natin, talaga hong ako ho really ay nagpapasalamat dahil ho talaga sa dami din po ng mga speakers natin na nag-share po ng kanilang mga kaalaman. And to Lead More, so thank you very much. As I said, you have really good feedback from the audience. We have allowed 81 questions that have been unanswered. What we will do, like we have done sa others, lahat po ito ay ibabato namin sa mga speakers, ibabato po namin to kila Karen. At sana po sasagutin po nila ito at ipopost po namin yung mga sagot nila dito po sa DTI Facebook page ng DTI e-commerce. So kayo po na sana ho tulungan niyo ho kaming dumami ang aming mga friends at so bagong-bago po yung aming Facebook page dahil gusto ho namin na maging active po ang ating control biz. So magiging dynamic po yung ating, magiging isa po siyang resource ng lahat ng klaseng informasyon. So there are others, sabi po ang reboot package po, ang una po niyan ay really bigyan po kayo ng access to information. For the past 4 days, we have done exactly that, which is to provide you with a suite of options. Kayo po ang nagnenegosyo, kayo rin po talaga ang magde-decide para sa inyong mga negosyo kung ano po yung dapat nating gawin. marami pong nasasabi nga natin na libre, ano? Kahapon po si Google may business o libre din po pala siya, no? Tapos nagsabi din po si Global Linker. May mga nagtatanong po yung mga website. Ayun po, yung mga hindi ho naka-tune in yesterday, marami din ho like si Global Linker, sabi po nila sila po gumagawa po sila ng libreng website. So lahat kung hindi po ninyo naubos lahat po ng ating mga, hindi ho ninyo na nasubaybayan yung 4 na araw, nandito po ito sa DTI Facebook, DTI e-commerce Facebook, and then you can really and go back paulit-ulit po ninyong i-view ang mga videos na yan. Bukod po dyan, meron pong pag-onboarding, yan po yung mga i-weave, libre. Yan o yung sinasabi natin, libre ang onboarding po para makapag-umpisa. Yun po yung tulong na binibigay ng mga platforms. Nandyan din po yung SB Corporation sa mga gusto pong nangangailangan po ng kapital para ho ngayong susubukan po natin ang mag-online, kailangan din po natin ng konting, sabi nga ho ni SB Corporation kahapon, para mag-start ka, parang kailangan mo yata ng mga 15,000 to 25,000 po na parang puhunan or gagastusin, no, expense natin po dito sa pag-online. So marami pa po yung mag-discount, kagaya po nandiyan po yung mga QuadX, Lala Move, Grab, yan po. So yan po ang Control Plus Biz Reboot. Ngayon po yung ating training, yung reboot package po. Marami pa po yan. Binabantayan ho namin lahat ng mga nag-a-attend, lahat ng sumusulat, lahat ng nagre-register. Kasi nangangako po kami na kami po ay kakatok din sa inyo at kayo din naman ay ini-encourage na sumulat sa amin. eco@dti.gov.ph para kayo po ay maging certified rebooter. So yun lang po ang aking masasabi, Sir Joel. Thank you very much for moderating the session, and it was great. Today's session was great. Thank you very much.
Maraming po salamat, and enjoy your food to be delivered by all of our platform providers. Thank you, Asik Jean. And abangan niyo po after lunch, meron pa tayong 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 5 o'clock. Okay. Thank you. Ito po si Joel Santos from PEMS International Business School. Have a good lunch.
Habang nakatigil ang mundo, habang ligtas tayo sa ating mga tahanan, may mga pumiling manatili sa harap ng digmaan laban sa COVID-19. Para sa inyong patuloy na nagpapatakbo sa makina ng bansa. Para sa inyong laging nakaabang sa ating mga daungan at paliparan. Para sa inyong nagtatawid ng aming mga pangangailangan sa kalsada, karagatan at himpapawid. Para sa inyong mga nagbabantay sa mga warehouse at terminal. Para sa inyong mga nakikipagsapalaran sa daan. Para sa inyong naghahatid sa amin ng malasakit at kabayanihan. Kayong mga frontliners sa logistics at supply chain, kakibat kayo ng mga doktor, nurse, sundalo at pulis. Patid namin ang mga sakripisyo ninyo at pagtitiis. ang buong sambayanan. Kaming lahat ay nagbibigay pugay at puso-puso papasalamat sa pagharap ninyo sa tiyak na pahamak para sa bayan. Mabuhay kayo, mga bayani ng bayan.
Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan. Kung nais umasenso, manap ng trabaho, o di kaya'y subukang magnegosyo. Lumikha ng produkto't sikaping lumago, inspirasyon mong pagkapiko. Katuwang ng gobyerno sa iyong tagumpay, iisa ang ating hangarin. Pag may abilidad at oportunidad, tiyak na ang lahat ay uunlad. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Walang iwanan. Go lang ng go mga kaibigan. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Sulong Pilipinas! Go, 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 kababayan! Kaya natin yan. Kaya natin yan. Kayaw magtipid sa iyong mga pangarap, sige-sige sa pagsisikap. Asenso'y sigurado sa hinaharap, manalig lang palagi sa sarili. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Walang iwanan. Go lang ng go mga kaibigan. Trabaho, negosyo, kabuhayan, kaya natin yan. Sulong Pilipinas!